All right, looks like we're live. Make sure this is going out okay on the YouTubes because I have no faith in it today. All right. I get the feeling this is going to robot on me a couple of times at least. Internet's incredibly slow today. All right. I haven't streamed in a while because I'm still just getting over a cold, still got a snotty nose, and I don't want to sound like DSP, just honking and snorting and wheezing and sniffing and all throughout the thing. So I've kind of tried to avoid doing this, but Luke's not going to have the next animated video up till probably some later this week. He said Thursday is an ETA, so that's a rough estimate. And I want to put out some content. I don't like just not doing content. I'm not these past couple months. I haven't done stuff like I used to. I don't do the big week show anymore because I don't know what the hell my schedule is. And been being sick this past week. And anyways, hopefully the voice sounds okay. I still kind of feel like shit, but a little bit better. The cold snap hasn't really helped. But enough bitching about, that kind of crap. What do I want to talk about today? Oh, yes. A couple of things. First of all, I got a Switch for Christmas. Santa brought me a Switch. Now, I mean, my dad got me a Switch. I always say Santa brought me this because it's, as I said on the Kwanzaa stream, it's just, when I was a kid, I never really believed in Santa in any kind of literal sense. None of the adults really in my life really told me Santa was real. There was always that kind of a wink and a nod of, oh, you never know, like, maybe in the same way, like maybe Bigfoot's real, oh, you never know, kind of thing. But none of the adults in my life told me Santa was real. But I've always referred to Christmas presents as, brought by Santa. Because as a kid, the way my dad explained it to me is like, it's a symbol. It's supposed to, it's a metaphor. We're all supposed to be Santa on Christmas. So that's kind of why I still use that expression to this day. Anyways, so I got a Switch. And I had told my dad, like I wrote down a list of games on the Switch that I wanted. And there's already more games on the Switch I want than on, I think, basically the Xbox One and PS4 combined. That speaks partially to my taste and also partially to how software free those two systems are, really. What are you going to go play the Order 1886 or Destiny 2 or whatever else AAA garbage that's been farted out that nobody cares about 6 months after it's released? But anyways, the game I got with it that he just ended up getting was Mario and Rabbids. Wouldn't have been my first choice, to be honest, but it was a game I was looking forward to. I thought it looked good, and I played a little bit of it here past few days, and I really enjoyed it so far. Very interesting take on the Mario franchise, this sort of turn-based shooter. Again, but I'm told all the time Mario games are all the same. Good stuff, though. I enjoyed it. But then the day after Christmas, I went out and I actually ended up selling my GameCube to my retro game store and the 6 games I had on it because I honestly think the GameCube library is massively overrated. They're not, a lot of them are games I played, but I'm not going to ever play again, kind of thing. So sold that, got a huge, big old chunk of store credit, in which I was able to get 2 games, brand new games, and still have some left over. And that first day I got Zelda Breath of the Wild. And then the next day I went out to one of the other locations. There's 3 locations of that retro game store in my area. Just press play. Good business. Free plug if you're ever in Lancaster County, you should check them out. So I got Breath of the Wild, and then the next day I got Mario Odyssey. I have not even touched Mario Odyssey yet. I think I popped it in once to make sure it worked. Well, I still have the receipt. But I haven't touched it. I've been enthralled with Breath of the Wild. It is absolutely amazing. So, if you don't know, in Breath of the Wild, you wake up, obviously you Link there, and you're in this regeneration chamber. There's a lot of like magic tech in it. It's like technology that's clearly kind of powered by magical energies, which I really like that. I like that kind of combination of the two. I've always have. So you wake up, and you're on the Great Plateau. Now, this is a huge area of land, but along the edges, there's no way to climb down. You can't do it. Just the way the terrain is and all, you cannot climb down. Any attempt to get off the edge until you get a paraglider will result in you falling to your death. So you're stuck on here. This is the tutorial level, the closest we have to a tutorial level. And it's one of the greatest tutorial levels I've ever seen in gaming. It's not your typical AAA hold your hand bullshit. It teaches you a lot through very organic gameplay. Obviously there's some straight up exposition. There's the old man you run into, who's the ghost of the king. Spoilers. It was kind of obvious. Forgive me if it was spoilers to you, but I didn't realize he was a ghost, but I figured it was the king. Because the last battle again in which you were placed in the resurrection chamber was 100 years ago. Now Ganon is, for this past 100 years ago, has been fighting Princess Zelda and her magic trapped in the castle. So if you look out at the castle, you'll see Ganon's like Calamity Ganon like swirling around it, but he can't leave the castle yet. He can, however, affect the land in a few ways, and we'll get to that. So you get the 3 spirit orbs. There's temples all through. When you first unlock it, when you first get to a temple, you kind of activate it, and it instantly becomes a travel point where you could teleport to instantly. There's a lot of the towers and shrines are travel points, which is good because otherwise getting all around the map would become quite the chore. Now, if you complete the shrine, you get spirit orbs. You get enough spirit orbs, you can go to like statues of goddesses and pray, and they'll update your like stamina wheel or give you another heart container. I only have 4 heart containers at this point. Once I got off the plateau, I did a few objectives, but I've mostly just been exploring, trying to activate all the shrines and towers I can. I haven't even completed that many shrines. I just activated them just for the travel point. Now I'm starting to go through and complete a lot of them because I want to boost my health up. Because that's the other thing. You are shockingly ill-equipped, at least initially. You're incredibly weak. It's 3 heart containers. Now, a blow can do as little damage as a quarter of a heart, so you got 12 hit points. That's not jack shit. These Boko goblins, or what, I just call them goblins. These fucking goblins, they got little camps everywhere, right? And clearing out one of these camps, I remember early on, initially it's like, okay, you clear out a camp, you fight a few goblins, no big deal. Weapons break a lot in this, by the way. You're constantly, it's almost like ammo. Even the nicer weapons I've gotten so far, it's almost tragic when you get a nice weapon. You're like, you don't want to use it. So the first time I died in this game, I go and, you know, they're mostly the red goblins, right? I go into a camp and you know, I'm being stupid. I'm just charging in like, come on, motherfucker, I'm gonna kill y'all. Out comes this blue goblin. Hits me. I maybe twice. I think it was just once. Fucker wipes me out. You learn early on that you gotta be smart. I've taken to you get certain runes on your little magic Sheikah state, your little fucking magic smartphone that you can activate, and you can activate you can just materialize these magic bombs that you can throw down. There's a little bit of a weight meter before you can materialize another. That's the only real limit on it. So I like to get to the high ground and just start rolling some bombs down on the motherfuckers and damage them as much from there. I've really taken that. Maybe I'll shoot them with arrows. But the bombs are unlimited, so I try and do them if I can. It's just really a blast. Like I said, though, I'm still very early in it. I've done a lot of exploring, but I haven't done a lot of leveling up. And yeah, there's a lot of things that can fuck you up really fast in that game. The Guardians is big. I mean, we first saw them in the trailer, the teaser trailer, like I don't know, it felt like 40 years ago. The teaser trailer for this game, where like Link's on a horse and he shoots this like weird Magitech arrow at the Guardian. It's like, well, some of these things are like stuck in the ground or like half rotted away and they come to life when you're near them, but they can't move. They just like turn around and they shoot you with their laser eye, which, by the way, is a one-hit kill. And it is almost impossible to dodge that shit. Like, they got a lock onto you that basically you got to get cover. That's it. You cover, when one of these things locks onto you, you either take cover or you fucking dead. The only other thing I know is like activate your travel thing and travel to one of the shrines and just teleport the fuck out of there. Otherwise, you're dead. But when you're trying to explore, trying to get somewhere, that's, you know. Some of the Guardians, though, are fully functional and they move around. When one of those fuckers gets you in sight, cover doesn't even really do shit for you because, you know, unless there's a whole lot of cover you can run, you know, quickly from one cover to another, you're fucked. You got to teleport out of there. That thing will kill you. They're one-hit kills. And, I mean, they're basically instant death if those things see you. So as I'm getting to the first village, right? Traveling along. And I don't think this never happened to me on the plateau. So I don't think blood moons happen when you're still on the plateau. But after you're on the plateau, something called a blood moon happens every 30 in-game days. Now, when you kill enemies in this game, with the exception of some of the wild animals, I think, like wolves or I think like Octoroks respawn. But generally speaking, the goblins and the monsters of that nature, they don't respawn. Generally. Until the fucking blood moons happen. So you clear out camps and I mean, they're done, right? But then comes the blood moon every 30th night. And I didn't realize this, but the blood moon, you get like a psychic vision from Zelda. She tells you the blood moon is rising. All fucking goblins resurrect. All the goblins and the moblins and the doblins and the fucking lizard dudes and all that shit. Whatever. It's like the horse face goblins and shit. They all resurrect. They all come back. I had just cleared out of camp with like 3 of them blue fuckers when that happened to me. All of a sudden, it's like, what the hell's going on? What is this? You know, and then it's like, oh, the blood moon. I'm like, what the fuck's a blood moon? And yeah, then then these guys all resurrect. It's like, oh shit. It's a ton of fun. I could sit here rambling about it for days, but I mean, if you played the game, you know. If you haven't, I mean, you're wrong. Not only is Breath of the Wild Game of the Year for 2017, in my opinion, and I think it's won some Game of the Year shit, but not only does it deserve that, I would argue it's a damn near Game of the Decade. Like, I can't think of anything in the 2010s that is better than this game. Now, I mean, partially that's because the 2010s have been a rough fucking decade for video games. It's been a rough decade, period. But yeah. So I also got Odyssey, which I haven't even cracked into yet. Still tons of games I want on it. I get my Nintendo account activated so I can download Sonic Mania. That Sonic Mania still doesn't have a physical copy. Still pisses me off. I want Doom. Bomberman R looks great. Mario Kart 8. That's probably gonna be the next one I get. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I'm sorry, Mario Kart 8.5 as I would call it. Yeah, that'll get. Although I do feel somewhat silly buying a game I already bought, but whatever. It's a deluxe game. Okay, sure. You know, I'm sort of buying the director's cut of a game, but whatever. In all fairness, I might be selling the Wii U. I mean, the fucker's broken anyways. I can probably only sell the system for parts. But yeah, Breath of the Wild is absolutely fantastic. And the Switch being portable, I don't even have it hooked up to a TV yet. I haven't bothered hooking up to a TV. I get this little cabinet, very narrow little shelf. It's maybe only like a foot wide. That's basically like my portable game shelf. You know, I think like the one shelf's got like my Game Boy Advance SP with all the Game Boy games in a box. I got a shit ton of Game Boy games. In fact, I got to figure out another storage method because that box is full. Another one is Game Gear. Another one's 3DS. And then on top of it, I got the little dock for the Switch where I charge it. But I have not played, like, I haven't done the controller thing. I haven't put it on the TV or anything. I've just done the pad, and I prefer it. Yeah. There are some nitpicks I have with Breath of the Wild, though. For one thing, the weapons breaking. I understand why they do that. I think a lot of them break way too fucking quick. I get it. Like, okay, you get the shitty, goblin club and it breaks quickly. Fine. You get like a shitty rusty sword. Okay, whatever. But like I got like a Zora spear, a really nice Zora spear, and it broke in a hurry. It feels like so much of this shit. The one good thing though is generally when you find weapons, like let's say you go past a little like a stable. There's lots of stables in the game, and you see a pitchfork, right? You take the pitchfork. Well, you're not going to just go back there and the pitchfork's going to be back. You took it, but that stuff seems to, after a while, it comes back, and I think it's after the Blood Moon sort of resets the map a little bit. There is a certain element of sameness because it's just there's not a great deal so far, at least. And bear in mind, I'm very, very early in the game, but I have done a great deal of exploring at the same time. It all seems like variations of these goblin fuckers. Like, okay, there's the horse face ones, and then there's the lizard ones too. That's a different thing, but it's basically the same thing. It's dumb barbarian monsters, and you go to a camp and you clear out the camp. And the camps are always in your fucking way. A lot of times I try to avoid them. I try to take high ground and just get around them and shit. But there's a bit of a sameness to that. Same with the shrines can be a bit of a chore at times. Not even super difficult. Very rarely do any of them have enemies. They're more just puzzles. But at the same time, it's just like, okay, fine. Give me the fucking orb. Like, all right, yeah, whatever. It's not a perfect game by any stretch. It's not like, oh, everything about it is pure fucking bliss. But it is amazing. It is an absolutely amazing game. Yeah, it can be very, very tiring to fight, fucking goblins for the billionth time. Especially when you're just trying to get somewhere. Like, just trying to get to the first village. And it's like, just get out of my way. Just leave me alone. Like, I wish I could almost just be like, look, just passing through. All right, I don't want any trouble. Just leave me alone, okay? Don't make me send you to hell for, I guess, just a month. um, Now, sometimes they can be fun. If you get like one camp, there's a few camps that are really close to that there's really good spots where you're basically untouchable, where you can rain death on them. And actually, after the blood moon, sometimes I'll just travel back to those camps just to fuck them up again because it's kind of fun. The worst, though, is the little camps that are like kind of out in the middle of a field where there's just no high ground around it or no cover. They're not that common, but I remember the first time trying to get to the village. I tried to find, like, instead of go down the river, follow the river, I tried to get up the mountains around to just circumvent it, right? And I was doing pretty good. And then all of a sudden I'm on this little patch of grass that seems to go kind of over the top. And I'm like, all right, this is great. And all of a sudden, I didn't even see him. I didn't even see the fucker. All of a sudden, I get the lock-on little laser eye pointer on me of a guardian. Like, the music changes to it. I'm like, oh, fuck, where is that even coming from? Oh, I gotta find cover. I gotta find cover. Oh, fuck me. And it got me. I didn't even see where he came from. The little bats are annoying as shit. Cleese, I think they call them, or keys. What's really starting to be annoying is that there's fucking swarms of them sometimes that come at you. It's just obnoxious. And at night, you get like skeletal zombie like goblins come up out of the ground and try and attack you. And the only way to kill them is to destroy the heads, destroy the skulls. Because if you just break them apart, then eventually they come back together until you destroy the skulls, which isn't always easy. You almost need a spear to do it. Like swords, it's hard to swing it in the right way when the skull's on the ground. Traveling at night can be a fucking whore. Just because of that. Pardon me. Like I said, sniffing a bit here. I might have to mute the mic and blow my nose here soon. I'm going to try not forming it and just blow my nose right into the mic. So let's see. So enough about the switch. Give me a moment here, guys. I'm going to mute the mic and blow my nose. So bear with me. Okay, that's a little better. Oh, man. I really wish I could shake the last of this fucking cold. Let's see. Odyssey, I'm looking forward to ripping into. In fact, I think I'm probably going to put Breath of the Wild down for a little bit today and just crack into Odyssey if I get the chance to play it. Let me go through the chat here a little bit, and then I want to move on to the next topic because there's not a ton in here because, it's 6 in the morning, nobody's up. Let's see. Who else is the No Sleep crew? Favorite Dank Meme of 2017? I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know. Memes just sort of blur together on when. Oh, you know what my favorite is? They fucking are you selling a couch shit on Facebook to all the live streams. Yeah, trolling the live streams. That's probably my favorite fucking shit this year. of internet dicking off, internet shit posting. Somebody says, we got an Xbox for free years ago. I only ever got Wolfenstein. Did you hear about the Iranian protests? I did. It sounds like there might be something of a revolution in Iran, which could be good. Then again, could be terrible. Last one didn't do so well for him. I don't know. I'm sure the CIA is in there fucking around doing shit they shouldn't be doing. But you know, I mean, I wish them the best. I hope they, you know, hope they can end up a less shitty place as a result of it. But that's often not how that kind of thing goes. See, sometimes I feel like the only guy who thought Breath of the Wild was a letdown must be my taste. I wouldn't say it's a letdown. I was thoroughly impressed with it, obviously, but there's certain things I would tweak. I wish weapons lasted longer. I wish I could. I don't know. Yeah, I wish weapons lasted longer. I wish there was a bit more enemy variation. I am exceedingly tired of the same. There's no low-level enemy variation. I've spotted different kinds of guys who it's like, you know, like there's this fucking faggot-looking ghost guy who like he's like prancing around in the air and he shoots fucking fireballs at you if you get too close, and like he sounds like a big old faggot. And he sucks. He like can go disappear and teleport and shit. He sucks. It's kind of a cool enemy, but it's like I'm not prepared for him. But yeah, like I got a big metal soldier shield recently, and it fucking didn't even seem to last that long. Fucker cost me 300 rupees. Pardon me. Somebody says, what's your opinion on Michael Savage? I like Savage. He's probably one of the best. He's probably the best, you know, AM talk show host guy out there as far as getting a really good take on it. I mean, Rush is good, but it's kind of basic bitch conservatism. And then a lot of guys are just sort of Rush. Hannity's a lot better than he used to be in that regard. Then you got obviously guys that are pure shit, like Glenn Beck. But Savage is pretty good by and large. I listen to Savage when I get a chance. All right, so other thing I want to talk about is obviously it's New Year's. We'll be jack shit. My sleep schedule on my days off, especially when I have a bunch of days off, like a chunk of them here working third, or it's all fucked up. Pardon me, sorry. I hope that didn't sound as gross as I think it might have. This is why I didn't stream at all this week, by the way, folks. But yeah, I ended up crashing at like 9:30 last night or something, in and out of sleep. That's why I'm up so damn early. I mean, I'm up for the day. So. But I never really gave a shit about New Year's. Here's the thing, like most holidays, there's some sort of activity. There's something you do. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously Christmas, there's the presents, and then, you know, there's a big Christmas dinner with family. Maybe you got a lot of family over, or you're over at families, or whatever. But obviously the exchanging of gifts is the primary activity. But there's a lot of stuff to do, and there's a big build-up to Christmas season, obviously. There's a Christmas season. You know, Easter, if you're a kid, you do like the eggs in a basket and all that shit. You know, Christians obviously have a big Easter service they go to. Thanksgiving, obviously there's the big feast that, you know, you'd have with family. Hell, 4th of July, you know, there's the fireworks and the cookouts and shit like that. But New Year's, it's like, what do you do New Year's? You know what I mean? Like, okay, you go, what do you go get drunk New Year's Eve, I guess, and whatever. I'm not a guy that quote unquote parties. I don't I don't like to go get shit-faced at a party. You know, that's not, I mean, hell, 3 drinks in me and I want a nap, you know? Um, you know, so the New Year's Eve night thing, I mean, I know that that's obviously what people do, but I don't have any interest in it. But the New Year's Day, what does anybody do? It's not like some days off, like let's say you get Labor Day off, you know? I mean, you could go do shit. You know, like I guess you could go to the mall if your area still has a mall, or you know, whatever. Go somewhere you like to go. You know, if you're a dork like me, you go to the comic store or the retro game store or something. Go to the movies if there's anything worth playing. Um, but then New Year's, I mean, everything's closed. Like tons of shit is closed on New Year's. What is everybody doing with their day? There's no activity in New Year's Day. In this area, and I know in some areas of the country, I think it's more a regional thing though. There's like you eat pork and sauerkraut dinner. Um, that's sort of a German heritage thing, so I think that's kind of regional here in America. Like Pennsylvania, obviously, has tons of German heritage, you know, but um, yeah, that's sort of a regional thing, and like that's not something I want to do. I can kind of tolerate sauerkraut. Um, if I'm in the mood for it, like maybe on a hot dog, and I gotta be in the mood for it. Generally, though, pork I can't stand. I don't like pork at all. I'll eat like a honey baked ham. I'll eat like pork hot dogs or sausage. That's it. Anything else, pork, I can't stand. I don't like it. It's just me. As I've said on here numerous times, I know it's the weirdest thing in the world to a lot of people. I think bacon is disgusting. I think it's absolutely disgusting. Um, it's like, would you like some bacon on it? Yeah, no. I also wouldn't like you to shit on it. You know, neither one of those. Both those things ruin it. So yeah, as a kid, especially, I hated New Year's Day. First of all, as a kid, so it's generally the last day off. Um, you know, unless maybe it falls on a Friday or something like that. It's the end of your it's the end of your Christmas break. You know what I mean? Um, and so you know, you had this big week off chunk where you got your presents, and then you had a week to play with your presents, and then you had to go back to soul crushing school. So there's that. I remember as a kid, there was nothing on TV. There was nothing on fucking TV. It seemed like. Um, no, yeah, I just I couldn't stand it as a kid. Um, yeah, in all fairness, I mean there were other holidays I didn't like as a kid. I didn't like Thanksgiving, for example. Um, now with Thanksgiving, it's because I'm not a fan of that like kind of country kitchen cooking that you generally have on these holiday meals. I don't have a very American palate, as it were. You know, I generally, you know, Mediterranean kind of food or even Asian kind of food is more up my speed. Yeah, a lot of country kitchen food, as it were, seems like slop to me. Um, so a lot of the traditional food served at Thanksgiving, I don't care for. You know, I was never very close to a lot of my extended family as a kid. And then obviously football is the other big thing on Thanksgiving. I mean, as a kid, Thanksgiving was, you know, go sit with a bunch of people you don't like, eat a bunch of food you don't like, and then watch a game you don't like. Thanksgiving was the thing I had to get past as a kid between the awesome sauce that was Halloween and then, you know, the wonderfulness that was Christmas. Um, but yeah, I don't give a damn about New Year's. So everybody's like, "Oh, what'd you do for New Year?" Like, I don't do shit. You know? I never do shit for New Year's. I don't give a damn about it. Hell, there's been a couple of years I've worked at places just because they were giving me holiday pay. Like, oh, you want to work New Year's? Sure, whatever. You want to pay me fucking 2.5 times my rate? Come in at a holiday that doesn't mean shit to me? By all means. Now, there is the one activity, although this doesn't require a day off by any chance. You look back at the year, you look forward to the new year. I understand that. And I do participate in that. Who doesn't love a best of list or whatever? All these people are like, 2017 was so terrible. No one. This is usually just shit libs whining about Trump or stupid shit like that, or about the fact that, they basically they're whining that they couldn't stump the Trump for a year. 2017 was so terrible. We heard the same thing about 2016. 2016 was fucking awesome. But so terrible. Why? Why? No, it wasn't, is the reason. 2017 for me, however, on a personal note, did pretty much suck balls. The culture and the country, I don't think had a bad year in 2017 by any stretch. And I think all the people running around saying that it did are usually faggots. I, however, did not have a very good 2017. I had a kick in the balls partway through it, and then I spent more time than I should, really, just kind of feeling sorry for myself. And then partly a lot of time just sort of spinning my wheels, not sure what the hell to do with myself. Still not really sure what the hell I'm doing with my life, if I'm being honest. So, yeah, 2017, not the best year for me. And hell, it was so bad, my Saturday show came to an end ultimately. I'm not producing the content on here I used to. The animated content is good. But obviously the live streams aren't what they were. I don't get the same guests because I don't plan them. Fortunately, right now I can't job them at. The schedule is all over the place, which I'm not happy about. But if I get hired there full time, the money will be really good. Let's see what we got going on here in the chat. For New Year's, people get drunk / high and celebrate their shitty lives. Well, I mean, that's what you do New Year's Eve. I don't know what you do New Year's Day. I mean, shit, haven't you slept off the last night by about noon? Happy designated day where we recognize we ran around the sun once more. I mean, I'm not saying New Year's Day shouldn't be a holiday. It's just I don't understand. I don't understand how it's that big of a holiday where like everything fucking closes down. Like, why? What are y'all doing? Let's see. How long are we going on here? About 40 minutes. I don't think I'm ending it yet. I just wondered how long we've been going out. Facebook is fucking gay right here. This is a good example. Like, I go on Facebook, I want to see if anybody commented on some of Bechtloff stuff. Facebook has decided that now, instead of putting the notifications in order, it has a chunk of new, I guess, kind of quote-unquote unread notifications They go in reverse order. The first notification here is from 47 minutes ago, whereas at the bottom of this chunk of new, there's a notification from 18 minutes ago. I don't know if other people have noticed this, but unless I click mark all as read, I'm not going to get my newest notification up top any like normal. It's like, why the fuck would you do that, Facebook? What the hell is the purpose of that? Other than making your site shittier. Speaking of Facebook, sort of, I saw Poll is kicking around. Over on Poll, they're kicking around the idea of colonizing MySpace, as they put it. You know, MySpace is kind of a dead site. I don't know a ton about MySpace. I wasn't into social media back when MySpace was a thing. I mean, it still exists. I guess it's still a thing, but a popular thing, I should say. But that'd be kind of interesting. You know, I don't know if the guy running that site would care if it got this second wind, even if it was, you know, not the kind he wanted. Was it Tom used to run MySpace or whatever, or still does? I don't know. I'm kind of surprised I haven't gone robot yet. Of course, now that I say that, I probably will. MySpace was shit and is shit. I mean, honestly, I don't think Facebook is particularly good. I use Facebook because everybody uses Facebook, you know, but I don't care for the user interface that much. I liked Twitter. I liked the user interface at Twitter. I don't like the fact that you get thrown off for being to the right of Karl Marx, but I like Twitter. It was kind of it was kind of sad losing the Twitter account. I still don't know what the fuck I did. Nobody will tell me. Oh, you engaged in target harassment against who? No response. What, you know, send another response. What tweet or what activity precisely was the problem? No response. Let's see. Everybody talking about the Iranian Revolution. I really don't know anything about it. Says Will Wheaton blocked me on Twitter. I was quite proud. Well, he is a big old faggot. Oh, I saw there's a page on Twitter. Memes that make you go, "What the heck?" These crudely drawn like MS Paint memes. It's similar in style to that fashy memes for or whatever something memes for fashy goys or whatever that I think Ghoul actually used to run, or maybe still does. I don't know. But anyways, on the memes that make you go, "What the heck?" page, there's like this crudely drawn picture of this, you know, new male with his beard, and it's fucking. You ever notice that these guys, they like pose for the camera with this like happy, quote unquote, expression of like their mouth open, like they're screaming in joy, but you know they're silent. The silent scream of the bug man. I almost wish I had Luke here for this, but I've heard people say that something like a fear grimace is the evolutionary term for it among primates or something. But it really, like, they think they look good like that. Ugh. So many of these new males, they're just, you know, NU males. They're just so disgusting. Fucking gammas everywhere. It's like, no wonder feminists hate men if these are the men they surround themselves with. Yeah. Let's see. What else did I want to talk about? That's the thing. These live streams are shit lately. I'm surprised any of you all listen. You know, I don't do no. I do these so spur of the moment. I don't do enough fucking research. I'm such a lazy shit. Oh, it's Star Wars. That's the other thing I want to talk about. So maybe I talked about this on the Kwanzaa stream. I don't know, but let's say it again. Everybody's running around talking about how Disney. And by the way, this is probably gonna end up being an animated video too, because I got a full rant, and I'm gonna have Luke animate this. I just held off on recording it because my voice was so shot. Even now, my voice is mostly okay, I think, but I'm sniffing and coughing and whatever. But everyone's like, "Oh, Disney ruined Star Wars. Disney ruined Star Wars. I can't believe it." Everyone, about how bad The Last Jedi is. But did they? Did they really? Because, implied in that statement is that Star Wars was just fine before Disney got there. Okay? Maybe they made it worse. But this is a movie franchise that hasn't had a good movie since 1983. And even that, a lot of people argue over how good Jedi is. I think people are too hard on it personally, but a lot of people outright dislike Jedi. Outright dislike, say, the Ewoks in it and shit. But, being generous, 1983, So here's the thing. Star Wars being this bad, it's not Disney's fault. It's not George Lucas's fault. It's not J.J. Abrams' fault. It's your fault. Star Wars fans, hear me out here. It's your fault that Star Wars is this bad. You did this. You did this. Oh, Bechtloff, how can you say that? Oh, my God, what do you mean it's their fault? All right. Well, let's hop in the Wayback Machine here, folks. Somebody in the chat says, Bechtloff, what's your Totally Not You Twitter account? Well, the Twitter account that people mistakenly, of course, assume is me is Woke AF Kirby. WOKEAF KIRBY. That is not me. You cannot prove it is me. That's just some random, probably very, very handsome internet shit poster who likes to post when I'm live sometimes. But that's not me. You can't prove that it is me. Somebody completely unrelated to me in any way, shape, or form. But anyways, so yeah, Star Wars fans, Disney didn't ruin Star Wars. Lucas didn't ruin Star Wars. You ruined Star Wars. Okay? You did this. Now, Bechtloff, how could you say the fans did this? Well, all right. As I said, let's hop into the Wayback Machine, shall we? Shall we hop in there with Mr. Peabody all the way back to the year of 1999? I believe that was the year, yeah, when Phantom Menace opened. So this movie opened that Star Wars fans had been waiting on for, 15 years or something like that at this point? And it was shit. It was shit. It was absolute shit. And you know what happened? Star Wars fans, they couldn't even admit it at first. So many of them were running around talking about how great episode 1 was and eating up the even after seeing it. It took them like 6 months to a year to finally admit how bad that movie was. But okay, time passes on, as it does. And then all the way to the year of 2002. Me, I was very excited that Spider-Man was coming out in the theaters. Holy shit, you have no idea what a boner I had for that movie. Fucking Spider-Man, a movie. Oh, man. I had a boner from here to Alpha Centauri. And a lot of people were talking about Spider-Man, in all fairness, but a lot, perhaps even more, were excited for episode 2. A lot of my friends, I'd be like, oh, man, I can't wait to see Spider-Man. They'd be like, oh, I can't wait to see episode 2. And I'd look at them like, really? The last one like sucked balls. I mean, it was awful. Yeah, but this one's going to be different. The little kid's not in it. It's going to be totally different. All right. Well, maybe the last one was a fluke. And as episode 2 comes out, and it turns out it's arguably worse. I mean, there's elements I kind of liked about it. Like, there's some of the political elements I sort of actually kind of like. A lot of people didn't. But I don't know. That's just me. I'm more of a Star Trek guy anyway, so I like some of that slower shit like that. But really, it was by and large boring. All right. So I mean, in that regard, it was worse than episode 1 because it was boring. But it was probably at least as bad. If some might say slightly worse, some might say slightly better. But whatever, it was shit. So you had 2 movies in a row that were shit. Okay, well, time marches on as it does, all the way to 2005. And I actually remember this. 2005, the local radio station in my area, FM 97, it still had a local morning show. And the one guy in the morning show, they were going live to him. He was actually at the movie theater waiting. He had already bought tickets months ago because tickets for the opening showing of both episode 2 and episode 3, I specifically remember. No, episode 3, I specifically remember. I'm assuming on episode 2. Now that I think about it. But I specifically remember on episode 3. Tickets were sold out months in advance. Months in advance. For a movie that was a sequel to 2 previous shitty movies. And that's how excited Star Wars fans were for it. And this Star Wars fan of the morning show, the FM 97 morning show here in Lancaster County, he had bought his tickets a long time ago, and he was there at like 7 in the morning at the movie theater, waiting in line to see the midnight showing that night. It was the first in line. Now, part of that, it's a morning show gag. I get that, whatever. But I actually called in I was working third, and my first break, I call in. I actually got through because it was still pretty early. It was just a local morning show. And I asked the guy, point blank, on the air, on the radio. And I said, why are you so excited to see this movie when the last 2 were so terrible? And the girl on the morning show starts snickering like, yeah, really? And Liz was her name. She's actually on another radio station in this area here. But he gets all kind of sheepish and was just like, well, I just want to see all the fights and stuff. And like, because he totally sucked the wind out of his sails. You know what I mean? Because he just wasn't willing to face that. So, okay, episode 3 comes out. And like episodes 1 and 2, makes buttloads of money. All you Star Wars fans go fucking see it. Opening day. Is it better than the last 2? Yeah. But it's still kind of shit. Okay? So you had 3 shit movies in a row. The first one, okay, you didn't know. The second one, you should have been a little bit more cautious about, but you still, okay, maybe the first one was a fluke, whatever. But by the third one, you are all still, you Star Wars fans, that's who I'm talking to right here. You all still, when you saw that shit opening night, you saw it like 4 fucking times in the theater, you gave, that movie made $1 billion, even though it was shit. Right? All right, so time passes on. A lot of time passes on here. Disney buys Star Wars. Out comes episode 7. Okay. Now, even though it looked terrible, you can kind of understand somebody approaching it and saying, well, all right, yeah, the last 3 were terrible, but Lucas isn't on board now. There's new creative blood. New people working on this. Maybe it'll be good now. Because when I first heard Disney bought Star Wars, my initial reaction was, well, maybe it'll stop sucking now. Probably not, but maybe. At least there's a chance now. You get new people involved. So y'all fucking go see episode 7. And it's shit. I would argue it's worse than the prequels. It's worse than the prequels. I would rather sit through all fucking 3 of the prequels than watch episode 7 again. Episode 7 comes out, makes $1 billion fucking dollars. Y'all go see it in the theater opening night. Again, I can kind of argue that there's an excuse, even though the last 3 movies sucked ass. Kind of argue it's an excuse, but whatever. But then episode 7 sucks. And you know what? You know what y'all do? You know what y'all do? You go see episode 8 opening fucking night. Now, granted, episode 8 had one of the biggest drop-offs, and maybe you finally learned. We'll see. All y'all bitching about episode 8, we'll see how many of you go see episode 9 in the theater. So that's the thing here. You Star Wars fans ruin Star Wars. You know how you ruin Star Wars? Because time and time again, that franchise shit in your mouth. Maybe you complain a little bit, but for the most part, y'all are like, thank you, sir, may I have another? Pardon me. So why wouldn't it be shit? It doesn't have to not be shit. Pardon me. I mean, look, I like superhero movies, right? I didn't go see Suicide Squad or Justice League in the theater because I knew they were going to suck. And I have some self-respect and I have some taste. You Star Wars fans don't seem to have it. You Star Wars fans do not seem to have that. So you can sit here and bitch about Disney ruined Star Wars. You did. You did. Your unquestioning, unwavering, slavish devotion to this series ruined it. Somebody says, fool me once, shame on Lucas. Fool you twice, shame on you. Fool you thrice, you're in a cult. Yeah, no shit. Somebody says, do you have some advice for someone who wants to get into podcasting? I don't know. Don't. No, seriously. I don't know. I mean, it's not like I'm that successful at it. I don't know why you're asking me. But, you know, if you have something to say, just go out there and say it. You know, and pimp it. You know, get on the Twitter, get on the Gab, get on the Facebook, and pimp your stuff too. Try and network. You know, try and get in with people. I don't know. Somebody says people aren't seeing 8. I convinced my family to see Jumanji instead. No, people saw 8. 8 made $1 billion fucking dollars, or however much it made, gajillion fucking dollars. Okay. A gajillion butt fucking dollars. All right. Yeah, maybe people didn't see it twice, but people went to go see it. Let's not kid ourselves here. And people are going to go see 9. Because Star Wars fans never learn. Star Wars fans don't have any taste. No matter how many times that franchise shits in their mouth, they will say, thank you, sir, may I have another? Over and over and over again. Alrighty. Let's see. Somebody says, get a solid $50 USB microphone and just learn how to use Audacity or Livestream. You'll suck the first dozen times, but you'll learn. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I would say maybe if you think, if you get multiple people to do it, do live streaming, because editing is time consuming as fuck. It really is. Yeah, if you're good at it, you can do it quicker than some and all, but it's still, you know, you got to record, you got to edit, you got to whatever. Just live stream. It's the reason I do mostly live streams, because I can't edit shit to save my soul. Let's see. And honestly, have a focus. I mean, the biggest problem with my shit being marketable is there's no focus. Now, that's because I don't I'm not good enough to have a focus. If I'm being honest with you, I'm not. I don't. There's not enough. I'm not good enough that I could just talk about one thing and keep it interesting over and over and over again. I just couldn't do it. Even something like comics, where I just have shockingly high encyclopedic knowledge of and a passion for. I can't. I can't just talk about that all the fucking time. Um, yeah. So if you can have a focus, politics or games or I mean, whatever it is, um, if you're Sargon, maybe you have a podcast just discussing interracial gay porn. I don't know. Um, I mean, look how fucking popular Sargon is, right? And why is he that popular? Because it's like this week in stupid. It's like, oh, I go on once a week and I say like, oh, feminists are dumb for an hour, and okay, people throw money at him because feminists are dumb, and speaking of throwing money, you'll notice down below there's the Patreon and the PayPal where you can send me some shekels. It's greatly appreciated. Shekels are greatly appreciated. It's funny. I'm kind of sort of seeing this this Christian girl. We'll see if it goes anywhere, whatever. But I'm enjoying talking to her. Scheduling conflicts these past couple weeks. I haven't been able to see her that much, but we did get some frozen yogurt at the Sweet Frog a couple weeks ago. But chatting with her, and I mentioned that I bought a Powerball ticket, and I kind of did this on purpose. I don't know how to say this without sounding like more of a dick than I am, but almost sort of to start a fight. I just sort of wanted to keep the conversation going, and I wanted to see if she had this moral thing against gambling, and if so, why? I mean, there's nothing in the Bible against it. And while I defend gambling a lot as not being inherently sinful, it's not something I do a tremendous amount. It's just something I occasionally will indulge in. And there is no biblical basis for saying it's inherently sinful. So it bothers me when people just act like it is, especially in conservative Protestant circles. That's extremely common. But she wasn't like pissy about it, but she was like, it seems like she wasn't exactly, didn't totally approve, but whatever. She wasn't like a strong position she had against it. But she's like, why are you gonna, I'm like, well, you can't win if you don't play. Like, look, you get a Powerball ticket. It's $2, right? Basically, that means one time I don't get a soda that my fat ass doesn't need anyways. No big deal, $2. And yeah, I know the odds are astronomically low that I win, but before I get the ticket, the odds are fucking zero. You know what I mean? So they've shot up considerably, haven't they? And it's not something I do a great deal. I think in 2017 I bought 2 Powerball tickets. Period. Usually it's like if I see the jackpot's like over 300 million or something, I'll grab one. Because you can't win if you don't play. But as I was explaining to her, because she was sort of like, well, what would you even need all that money for, anyways? What would you, because it's, she's like, it just seems like materialism. What would you do with it? And I'm like, no, you don't understand. Like, it's not. I don't think like, oh, it would be cool to win this big jackpot of money because I'd buy a bunch of dumb shit. That's not what it's about. Now, I probably would buy some dumb shit. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I occasionally buy dumb shit now, with the money, and with the little bits of money I have right now. I mean, you know, look at all the shit on my bookshelves and all, and you'll know. So yeah, it's not like I wouldn't buy some dumb shit. Don't get me wrong. I just wouldn't buy a ton of it. I wouldn't just go out and piss it all away. What would be great about something like winning the lottery um, is that you got fuck you money. What was that speech John Goodman gave? And I think the movie called The Gambler, I think it was. It was a movie with Mark Wahlberg. But it was like, fuck you money. Well, what's fuck you money? Fuck you money is about 2 million or more. Yeah. Actually, these days with Obama bucks, maybe it's 5 million, but whatever. It's a few million. It's a couple million, basically. You get your house paid off. You live somewhere with really low property taxes. You get your house paid off. Get your car paid off. You get that shit in an account where you can basically largely live off the interest. And then you're kind of at the fuck you stage. Somebody tells you to do something, fuck you. I'd still work. You know what I mean? I'd still work. But if, it's snowing, boss wants to come anyways, fuck you. You know what I mean? Fuck you money is what it's about. The freedom of having that kind of money is what is alluring. That's the thing you fantasize about. Like, let's say I won the Powerball come Wednesday. Let's say I bought a ticket Saturday. I didn't even get the first number, right? Because the jackpot's well over 300 million right now. So let's say I buy a ticket again for the Wednesday drawing, I think it is. I don't even know if I'm gonna, but let's say I do. Let's say I won, right? Pardon me with the sniffs. 300 million. When you take a lump sum and then taxes, you're going to get raped on the taxes on it. You're probably looking at walking away with roughly half that. A little bit more, probably closer to 60%. But let's just round it down to half. Okay, so let's just say you got $150 million sitting in your checking account, free and clear. That's yours. Taxes paid, fees paid, all that shit. That's yours. That is your money. 150 million. So what do you do with that? Let's say I won. Well, for one thing, I would work, but I would work part-time. I'd have a part-time job with a flexible schedule. For about the first month, though, I think I'd just travel for a little bit. Partly to see sights and just have a little bit of fun, but also kind of to just clear my head. Think, what's your next step? You know what I mean? So I basically get on a train, go maybe right now with the cold snap, I'd go to fucking Florida just to try and escape this. And I know it's like 57 in Miami, so it's not even that warm down there, but at least it's not fucking 3 degrees outside like it is now. Global warming my dick. And that's another thing I want to talk about too, by the way. Trump's little tweet on global warming, which this just reminded me. But, you just if it wasn't for this cold snap, I'd probably catch a train to New York and then, dick around in Manhattan for a day or two and then catch a plane down to Florida, go see the amusement parks, maybe travel over to Colorado, go see Mile High Comic Store finally. Then see some internet friends I know who live all over the fucking place, guys like Clary and Forney and Davis aren't in the country right now, and I don't have a passport, so I don't think I'd see them right away. But just travel around, just sort of see shit, clear your mind, think what you're going to do with it. I'd pour some of that into online endeavors. I've said before that I'd love to start a more shitlord channel awesome. And while you don't necessarily need a ton of money to make that happen, you need to know what the fuck you're doing, which I don't. I mean, I don't know nothing about website design or anything like that. So, if I had that kind of money, I'd just pay people and make this a thing that happens. But yeah, that'd be cool. And let's say I really just live high off the hog, right? So I had 150 million in my checking account, and I travel the country for a few months, and I mean, I'm not being smart about it, not smart. I'm not being thrifty about it, I I get the first hotel I can that looks nice. I'm not looking at prices, you know what I mean? I go to an airport and just say when's the next flight to roughly where I'm going, kind of thing. You're not trying to save. You're not booking shit. You know what I mean? You're just like going here, there, and everywhere. Let's say you spend $1 million in a couple months, right? Okay, now you're down to 149 million. So you pay off your car. I wouldn't even get like I don't know. I wouldn't get a sports car. I'll tell you the car I'd get as a toy car would be if you ever seen it in a Sada. Um, Somebody said Bechtloff, you'd blow your money on amiibos. Not really. I kind of have all the amiibos I really want. Um, I'd blow some money on retro games. I'm not gonna lie there. Uh, I'd get a bitchin' game room set up. That'd be the only like dumb shit kind of blow money stuff that I do. Um, where was I? Fuck, I just lost a train of thought there. Something I do. Oh yeah, toy car. I got my regular car, but I get everything paid off, house, car, all that shit. Um, I don't know. Maybe I'd move somewhere it's not so fucking cold. I'm really sick of the winters. I don't like moving, but this is fucking obnoxious. Um, but if you've ever seen a Asada, it's the dorkiest, goofiest little car. If you ever watched Family Matters back in the '90s, it's the car Urkel drove. Like has a door in the front of it. It's actually this tiny ass little. It's almost like I think it was in the '70s it came out, but it was almost like a '70s version of a smart car. It's so small. I think it's actually a motorcycle engine in it. But they're just so cute and ridiculous that I love them. I have such a soft spot for them. But then the rest of that is just sitting in a checking account, and that's just fuck you money. Maybe you give a few bucks to a friend, to friends and all, so that they can go, you know, change their life for the better. But for the most part, you're just sitting on fuck you money. Somebody says if your fine living is a neat, fu money can be as little as $800 a month. Yeah, neat life's not for me. I mean, honestly, God, if I had that 150 million after taxes, free and clear in my checking account, I would still work. Now, as I said, I'd want a flexible schedule, but I'd still work. I'd still do part time work at least. I'd work on this a lot more. Like I'd hire you know, I'd actually try and make this something regular and good. Like maybe I'd actually pay Undertow to be back on here, even though he hates dealing with all you spurgs. Um, Pardon me. Sorry, that's not good radio, but hang on. Let me mute this because I got another coughing fit coming up here in a second. Pardon me. Sorry, guys. Um, but yeah, I'd make this nice. Like maybe I'd do this, and as long as it's hell, even just breaking even, I wouldn't care. But I'd make this a nice show where I got like you know people that screen calls for me and bring me stories to comment on and that sort of thing. Speaking of which, a couple of things I wanted to comment on. Pardon me, I'm sorry. This is why I didn't stream at all this week. It's hang on, let me mute the mic again. Okay, holy shit. I think I coughed so hard I briefly died. Come on. The Trump tweet on global warming. I want to talk about this. So Trump tweeted out about how we had this ridiculous cold snap all up the East Coast. I mean, like I said, it was 57 in Miami the other day. I mean, for fuck's sake. It's 3 degrees here right now. At least last I was out, which was right before this stream. You know, sun's poking up now. Maybe we reached 5 degrees. Global warming's bullshit. And Trump actually called this out. He, in this tweet, he's all like, he said something about how, like, America's the only nation that has to pay for this, and it's a scam, it's not real. Look at this big cold front, global warming my ass. And all those shit libs are having that's not how climate change works. No, nobody knows how climate change works, you dipshit, because it's made up bullshit. Like, back in the 70s, all these same scientists were talking about we're going to have an ice age. And then in the 90s, into the early 2000s, it was all about global warming, right? Remember, the ice caps were supposed to be gone by now. Antarctica, I think, last winter for them, which is the summer for us, they had the largest ice growth around Antarctica in, like, I think the entirety of the time they've been recording it. In fact, a ship that was sent there to study the shrinking ice got stuck in the ice. Boy, God is not mocked. He has quite the sense of humor, doesn't he? Mother Nature, the original shit poster. This is all a joke. It's a scam. Every one of their models, every one of their predictions has been wrong. Okay. Now, I don't know a tremendous amount about meteorology or physics or chemistry. I don't have a doctorate in any of these things. I have just your basic high school science understanding of these things. So I'm not necessarily in a position to fully debunk a lot of their theories, other than to just observe that all their predictions are wrong. But I know a little something about human nature. And I can kind of tell when I'm being bullshitted. Now, when you tell me that we're going to have an ice age, oh, no, wait, no, everything's going to get real hot. Oh, no, wait, there's climate change. And by the way, that was brilliant marketing, because you can blame anything on that. Any amount of weather, you can say, well, it should have been different, therefore climate change. Did we not get any snow? Well, we should have gotten snow. That's not normal. Climate change. Did we get too much snow? Oh, well, that's not normal. Climate change. Is it sunny? Well, it should have been raining. Climate change. Whatever. So yeah, climate change, brilliant marketing right there. Hats off, guys. But the other reason you can tell you're being bullshitted by it, aside from every one of their predictions being wrong, is that no one wants to talk about the only possible solution. Let's assume for a minute man-made climate change is real, right? And that it's very dangerous and must be dealt with. There's only one possible solution: population control. Now, occasionally you'll get some people sort of talking about population control. But when I say population control, primarily in the third world, where A, they have bigger carbon footprints because they pollute more. Here in the West, we run pretty clean. Here in the first world, we run pretty clean. And they are actually overpopulated in those regions. So if you're not talking about population control, primarily in, say, sub-Saharan Africa and East Asia, then you're not serious about a solution. And therefore, you're just bullshitting. You're just bullshitting. So, again, I don't have the scientific background necessary to refute a lot of the climate change claims, But when all your models are wrong and you don't ever bring up the only possible solution to your theoretical problem, I kind of got to assume you're bullshitting me. And kudos to Trump for calling that out. Kudos to him. Also, another thing, Trump's done a lot of good here that's kind of mostly going under the radar. It's not the big things we need that we were hoping for, the wall and throwing Hillary Clinton in jail. That hasn't happened yet. Although the wall is getting started. The wall is getting started. But that all hasn't happened yet. But he just fired the whole HIV combat advisory board or whatever that was part of the White House. He just fired them all. Like, all these leftists are all mad, like, he's not serious about combating HIV and AIDS. Well, he could have just brought me on the advisory board, and I'd be like, I have an idea. How about if motherfuckers stop with intravenous drug use? Just like stop sharing needles and having unprotected butt sex, and maybe see if that doesn't crack down on, knock the AIDS numbers down a little bit. Oh, gee, you can't say that. Again, you want to discuss a problem that isn't really, in the case of AIDS, isn't really that big of a problem. It doesn't really affect straight people that much. So, but you also don't want to discuss a solution. I mean, yeah, it'd be great if they made a cure for it. That'd be fucking fantastic. I'm all for curing any and every disease you can. But in the meantime, there is no cure. So, stop having unprotected butt sex with strangers. Maybe that'd help. Well, no, you can't mention that. Or how about, How about you just fucking every bug chaser running a Tumblr blog that Commonfeld has made fun of? How about we find out their IP address and have the CDC just grab them and throw them, every one of them, into a fucking medical incinerator? How about that? The ones spreading it on purpose. How about we just execute them? I'm pretty sure spreading a disease, spreading a deadly disease on purpose, that should be death penalty shit right there. That should be where like guys in fucking hazmat suits just come at you with flamethrowers. All right, folks. Well, I'm gonna sign off for now, because I'm starting to have another fucking coughing fit over this cold. And plus, I want to play. I want to crack into Odyssey finally. Put Breath of the Wild down for a bit. Crack into Odyssey. And this dog's pestering me that he wants, I don't know, something. I don't know what he wants. I'll figure that out. So, pardon me. I'm sorry. I've been coughing up a fit here. Been trying to avoid the worst of it. I'm sorry, folks. It's like a dry cough now, man. All right, folks. If you enjoy the content, check out the PayPal, check out the Patreon. And that's all I got for today. Thanks for listening. Bechtloff out.